Welcome to the Black Couch, episode number 5, where I pretty much sit back, lay back, like I'm in a therapy session, and just give an update on what I'm going through, um, and just touch on mental health. Just try to do my part in normalizing having these conversations, especially with my face attached to it, my color attached to it, males in general just not going to the hospital with it being Men's Health Month. Shout out to everybody that's out there doing videos. I think one of the guys that inspired me out the bay. Who was it? As far as touching on the mental health, what was his name? Stepper Moo, something like that. He's doing the boost bar videos, and he was also talking about he was on Lexapro as well. So a lot of his story was similar to what I was going through. So I just wanted to give my perspective too and to do my part because I know a lot of us men. I understand. I'm not like pushing like the medical industry or nothing like that. Um, I'd say for years before this, and with my last experience with SSRIs in like 2011 wasn't good. I went super supplement, uh, just totally not with the system. Now I think my approach would be more hybrid. You can incorporate getting certain monitoring certain aspects, get certain checks, and this just worked for me. Just a hybrid system to where you still doing your supplements. I still do my vitamin D. I'm still doing my multivitamin that I showed before, but I'm also incorporating appointments when necessary, or appointments just to still get a check on record on where I'm at, especially if I'm doing something like a fast. I probably would go get blood work beforehand. Let the just even doctor most of the time wouldn't agree, but just still have that on record and just have more frequent checkups if I was going back now. At this point, I'm a little bit scared to even dump back in that bag. And not that I don't think about it, but I'm definitely am hybrid right now as far as my view on the medical system and the approach on Men's Health Month and different methods on our self care. So you can still do your hybrid learning, still do your own research, and still go about it in a natural way, but just have that monitoring, that overhead, just as a safety net, because you don't want to get in a situation like I got in. I know the viewers want just get to the point, get to the point. A lot of times with me, I'll be like that. Now this camera on the iPhone be throwing me off because you would think you center, but the camera on the left side. So if you see me playing with it, it's just me trying to get it center. Lexapro probably was the worst thing for me. I think had I not tried Lexapro, I would be a lot closer to getting back to semi-normal. Like I said, when I was just on the Ativan, it was functional. That Lexapro threw me all the way back. Like, and I'm still in that place where because I was just coming off the boost bar too. So now it's like the brain is just getting used to producing all of this, or at a normal rate, at a natural rate, producing all of without anything getting blocked or anything, the medicine having any effect. I know the boost bar affects the dopamine and nephrine or something like that, and the SSRI was affecting the serotonin. So now it's off both of them, and it's just been a uphill battle. Some days you back, some days I'm not. Um, Senses is still off. I've been driving, but it's not like I'm comfortable driving like I was before all of this. And with my drive being in driving, that's something that's like, you want to be as on point as possible. It's not like I can't do the job. It's just Picture being a little bit feeling like you on wine. For any people out there who've had any experience with wine, just picture being in a state of just that wine state. So it's just really working on getting the brain back clicking, or a fighter when they get a step slow is just getting that step back, just working on getting. And I think just going out, driving a little bit more. um, I was backing a little bit more for the first time, because when I was going out before, I was staying away from backing. So just trying to push that to build that muscle memory up in the brain that, okay, this is what you do, not get stagnant. That's why I always made it a point to get up and work out through all of this, because you don't want it becoming, you don't want it shutting those points down to what you used to do and becoming obsolete from society. You want to get back to functional. So that's just my mind state. Going through everything is um just try to push a little bit, but don't push too much. So with Men's Health Month, going through all this, my advice would just be, don't put too much on your plate. If it's too much for you, don't do it. Um, don't try to do what you don't have to do, or put yourself in situations that you don't have to be in. If it's too much mentally, just really take care of your mind, because if you lose it even a step, or not lose it, but if you lose even a step of function, or a step of reaction time, or a step of being able to sense what's around you, or a step of hearing, or a step of vision, anything of these side effects that comes from a lot of these medications, or just comes from too much going on in life, too much stress, too much whatever, then you'll be in a situation like me, where you like, man, I just wish I could get back there, and I'll be this, you know what I mean? So try to just get a step ahead of everything. Try to put the right people around you to where you can have certain conversations. I know, especially in black households, mental health thing is not really taken seriously. You even have friends, they just not gonna get it, because a lot of times you got to go through a lot of stuff, or it's just like, oh man, push through it. Or a lot of people don't understand that something mental might hit them hard, but if they're smoking every day, or drinking every day, or using whatever is their vice, that's taking them away from the situation. But if you sober, you dealing with it, so it's hitting you a little bit different than it's gonna hit them, because they're not taking an SSRI or anxiety medicine, but they're taking something that's taking taking the place of that. So really, they are, you know. But uh, I think that plays a part why in the black community mental health isn't digested the same way, because for the most part, a lot of people are you either drinking wine, you might have your alcohol, your lime marita, your tequila, smoking cigarettes, smoking black and mild, weed, um, or older people, they might be on something a little bit more heavy. The kids popping perks, popping Molly. It's just so much out here nowadays, and it's just educational purposes. Not saying do it. It's just explaining what goes on in a lot of inner cities, and what may play part of lack of understanding for mental health. And I would say that may be a point that needs to get put to the forefront, because that's a point that can make people like, oh, maybe you're right, because I am doing this, and this, or even if it's some cigarette, whatever is getting you away is helping you cope with the day to day. But picture the person that's not using anything, and they're still going through that same day to day stuff, and it's no getaway from whatever. So for me, I'm still working through it, still trying to get my driving back to normal, still just trying to get that reaction time, the senses. And if I could go back, I wouldn't have taken a Lexapro. That's my big overall take. The Ativan and the benzos, we know those side effects once you get off of them, but it wasn't anything major when I was just taking that. I was still pretty much me. What got me off me and mentally like spacey or making you have that unsober feeling was the Lexapro. So if I could go back over anything that I think I done took from 2011 to now, it would be I wouldn't take the Lexapro. I wish I just didn't do that because you hope you get back, but do we know? No. If somebody out there that has taken it and had similar like days, just like I say, a boxer that lost a step type feeling, like you just reaction time not the same. You're not as comfortable driving or just functioning day to day. You don't know how it's gonna be. If you had that experience and you made it through, you got some type of good stories. Definitely let me know in the comments, or if it was any steps or techniques or procedures or therapies that you went through that help you kind of get back to normal. I know before mood support by now and vitamin D helped me get back. I'm trying to give my body a little bit of time because the St. John warts in it plays on similar things. So I want to at least give it a month just to kind of stable out on its own and see what happened and go from there. But if y'all have any advice or y'all been through it with the Lexapro and you stop on that first weekend, but you got a sensitive body like me. I know a lot of people say 2 weeks in when they keep taking it, or 2, 3 weeks, they normal out. Did anybody normal back out after just stop taking it? And I'm talking about the Lexapro in this video. So, Men's Health Month. Yeah, just don't be afraid. If you don't have nowhere else to communicate, at least you got YouTube now. So, shout out to everybody out there. Spread peace, positivity, and love, and use your voice to help where you can.